Okay. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Attract Clients Connect Authentically. And I'm so excited about all these interviews that I get to do with these wonderful people. And today we have Lisa Limatta, who is a really good friend of mine for a really long time. And I love the work that she's doing. And I'd love for her to just share a little bit about what she's doing and why. We'll talk about that in all the questions that follow. But here's Lisa.
Hi, Robin. Oh my gosh, so
Hi.
fun to get to connect with you. It's been a while since we've had a chance to connect. So,
I know.
so fun. So fun.
Yeah, it's awesome. So, Lisa, what I talk about in this group is about how your why affects the kind of work you're doing. And I was wondering if you could speak to that a little bit.
Yeah. So, I would say that the type of work I'm doing is definitely connected to my why. For me, it felt like this thread that I followed for a long time throughout my adult life. It was like little clues that would sort of seem to drop into my life that was like, okay, I wonder what that means, right? And just it's been kind of a thread that I've been following. Um, so I'm a coach who works with female entrepreneurs. And for me, I mean, I guess I've been an entrepreneur, gosh, for probably the last 25 years in various capacities. So, I've always just been very drawn to the entrepreneur journey. And really what I do now is I'm helping women, really step into becoming well paid, step into like really reclaiming their connection to their own power and to their relationship with money and helping them become empowered to create whatever it is they want to create in their life. And I think that how that connects to my why, to kind of like bring that back to your question, is that it's, as for most of us, it's the journey that I've been on, right? It was only after like really having a business where I did all of the strategy and I worked really hard and I had success, but it came at a price. It came at a price of total burnout, total exhaustion, not connecting that back to like my own personal power and even my own spiritual practice, right? So for me, when everything changed for me was when all of that came together, right? It was like not just having strategy, but it was about me being who I truly am, being connected to my power, being connected to my spiritual practice, and really being able to then from that place create wealth, create money, create a business that like really lit me up. And so that's now the work that I'm doing in the world.
How wonderful. And it's interesting because in this group, I talk about how the why is such an important piece, and that the thing that attracts clients to you is actually having them be romance, so to speak, or building a rapport with your pain points along the way. So like the pain points that you went to from discovering your why to reaching the goal that you're in, those little stopping points were actually teaching points. And those are the teaching points that you're now using to work with the clients that you're working with. Would you agree with that?
I would agree with that. Yeah, it's really true. I mean, I think that we learn best from our own experience. And for me, sometimes it helps make sense of some of the things that I've gone through in the past as well, but it's when we can teach from that perspective of like having been there and now I'm on the other side of it. There's a lot of wisdom where we can look back and see what steps did we take, what were the things that actually made the difference, and be able to show that.
Yeah. And what's so incredible to me is I think people take for granted that wisdom actually is your unique gift, because that gift came from the wisdom you got from achieving those goals.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you look at clients that you're working with and they actually achieve that and they come up with that wisdom that you gained, what does that do for you?
When I see that transformation in my clients, when I see them actually learning through that and applying it to their own life, I mean, it's so fulfilling for one thing. It's so fulfilling and it gives meaning to the work that I do, right? I think that's true for all of us.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it really connects me back to my why even further of like, yeah, this is why it's so important. This is why we keep going. So yeah, that's powerful.
So would you just say that that's how you define authenticity? Like finding that connection, the integration of all those pieces?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I think authenticity for me, it was sort of this like slow, I would almost call it like a remembering
Yeah.
who I was. Um, because I think that as we go through life, we sort of put on so many layers and, who we think we need to be successful in the world. And it just, for me, getting back to my authentic message felt like a sort of this deep unraveling. And
Yeah.
then like this new beginning that came from it, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, it definitely is a version of being connected to that authenticity when you can use your message, your experience, who you are in the world to make a difference for someone else.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And you know what I love about all of that is that to me, it's not black and white. To me, that's all intuitive. And that's like your intuitive strength shining through and like really trusting it. And to me, like when I think about all of that and I think about the true sense of authenticity and confidence, I think it comes from trusting your gut and trusting your intuition. And so when you're coaching these days, how much would you say you rely on that intuition rather than the black and the white?
Most of the time. Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I think that there's a point in time where it shifts when you start to realize like, oh wow, I'm making the biggest difference when I'm using my intuition, when I'm showing up, and just it's almost like when you're coaching from your intuition, you're you're in a sense just so present in the moment. You can't be anywhere else, right? You're just completely present with that person in that moment, and that's where I see something's happening. That's where I see those powerful shifts, and things beginning to stir. And sometimes, when you're coaching from intuition, you're just like, wow, I don't even know where this is coming from, but like, here's the direction here's the direction I really see we need to go. Right.
Right.
And that's where it's powerful. Yeah.
Yeah, it's such a state of empowerment. And I know it's really funny. I know Lisa from meeting her daughter Kayla, and I met Kayla in Miami. I just happened to sit next to her and I befriended her, and then I met Lisa, and um it was just such a beautiful interchange. And when I see the two of you and the way you bounce off of each other and you use your catalyst energy to inspire each other, it's just such a beautiful combination. And I just want to really thank you for this time. And if anybody ever wants to work with Lisa or with Kayla in their group, there's going to be her email is going to be right there, or you can message me and talk to her about where your stuck points are. And she's a great resource.
Thank you so much, Robin. This was
Oh,
so
my
great to
pleasure.
connect with
Thank you
you.
so much for coming on there with me. I really appreciate it. And I have to forgive my surroundings. I'm in my car. My air conditioning broke. But the show must go on.
The
So
show
I'm
must go
doing
on. I'm at work, so it's all good. It's all perfect. We can show up anywhere, right?
That's right. We can. With technology these days, we're portable. So I just want to thank you again, Lisa, for this time with you, and kisses. Bye.
Bye, Robin.
Bye.